Uh, it's not a point of not being high strung, not having an ego, because the ego defends yourself and what you're doing. It's defensive. So your ego is well developed. People tell you, you ain't nothing. You ain't, your ego says, oh no, shoot. Hey, I'm the smartest guy in town. If people tell you you're the dumbest man in town, your ego tell you it's exactly wrong. I'm not only not the dumbest, I'm the smartest nigga around here. So a well-developed ego is good when people are always trying to beat you down. But it can be overly developed to where I'm not going to take you can't make fun of me, you can't harass me, you can't do. Well, a well-developed ego that you can almost say anything you want. I ain't going to do that. And then the other thing is, they'll take you all the way up to the last stop. And that was an analysis that man and the other man are very similar. Their class of people, they're similar. They feel good about themselves. They have, they feel, basically they feel that I am somebody. I'm somebody. I already know that. If I wasn't nobody, I couldn't do this, that, and other. And I can add and subtract. So I already know that. That's what they would be saying. So you can't tell me you are nobody. But the ability to know that and deal with it and it's a gift to just relax with it. That there's some people that you would not assault. They wouldn't even let you get close because they got a team that would, if they catch you thinking about it, they would move on you right away. Okay, so the type of assault that I put up with, the average person couldn't do it because their ego would not allow it. Well, there's a part of ego that's satanic. And if you're out of control, that means the shaitan is in control. So we ain't let him. Okay? So you might allow yourself to be unbelievably brutalized. That's what people would call it. But you respond in the way you want. Now, in the long run, what happens? In the long run, you run the people and the system crazy because they run out of line. They don't have anything else to use. Yeah, because they just run out. Then they begin to look like fools. You can get them to manage so well, and you can have pictures of them standing by watching as you being arrested by police that they didn't call, and they're standing there looking like a damn fool that everybody know, and there it is. That's the slickest thing you can do. It's a wonderful trap. When you can trap everybody, you can trap the Negroes, you can trap the government. Hey man, you could trap the monitors, everybody's trapped. You got to have long time patience and durability. You have to have it in order to do that. And at the same time, the element of kindness. You have to be, okay, that takes a little work. And if Allah didn't give it to you naturally, you just, hey, A lot of people, they're not going to, That's why certain people, the easiest thing to get black people to fight each other is one group go do something to the other group, and then the niggas, I ain't gonna take that. They'll take it from the police, but they won't take it from another Negro, and they'll go kill a Negro, and then he'll kill his cousin. Pretty soon, boss man can step back. We swore we would never fall into that elementary, first grade, 99% of the time work, dumbest trap in the world. It's a trap there with all the stuff in it, and it has written on it, trap. It's the guy, that's what it's written on, trap. It's a trap. And it always, and then you go right, and you say, oh, but it's got something sweet right there, so I must. And then you get trapped. Okay. Being trapped in the headlights of history. What this means to us is that we're going somewhere. We're out on the move, and in the middle of the night, all of a sudden, the biggest animals in the woods get trapped in the middle of the highway with the bright lights on them. And then they freeze. They don't believe you could do it because they're used to the government. If you don't believe the government's a damn fool, turn on the news right now. If you don't think they're going crazy, turn on the news. The United States government told its allies to isolate Russia, to cut it off, and don't take none of its wheat, and don't take. Everybody needs bread. The whole world needs bread. It produces between Ukraine and Russia today. And fertilizer, let your crops just wither up and don't buy any fertilizer. Oh, you buy a lot of petrol, a lot of gas and oil, don't buy it. And the oil prices, it haven't went below $100. It's low right now, 109, 110, $12 a barrel. That's low. That's from the last, that's low. Why are the people going crazy today in London? Because inflation. What's inflation? Well, it costs. Now, let me say this, and this is cheap. If gas is $5 a gallon in the United States, and here, okay, now that means in California, it's what is $6 or $7.
That's the check. It was $7.
$7. Okay, now you know why Japanese cars and English cars are fuel efficient? You know why?
They're on an island.
They're all the island countries, and they're fuel. They got to import. They don't. Good God Almighty. They're just making American cars semi-fuel efficient. When I drove them big Cadillacs, we got 9 miles in the city and 11 miles out in the country per gallon. They have a 4-barrel carburetor. The carburetor is this big. It has 4 jets. That's what 4 little, jets. And and if you wanted to do a little racing, which a lot of people would do, they would take a big engine and put it in a small car, and then they would put 2 4-barrel carburetors on a car. That's 8 barrels. or three deuces, they call it. So that would be three 2-barrel carburetors. And when you mash on the gas, you could almost see the thing goes just like. But that's when gas is cheap. The point is this: they're instituting all of those on people that cannot stand. The U.S. has inflation, but the U.S. still has some of its own petrol. It still has more petrol, from Texas and all over, than other people do. And gas is still in California $7 a gallon. When gas is that high or petrol is that high, that means the big trucks that used to take $1,000 along with them, or they have $1,000 on their account, now they have to have $3,000. Or they get out in the woods and can't go anywhere. Because them big things use up a lot of gas. They had them big tanks on each one. Somebody told me they had 100 gallons. They was either 50 gallons a piece, or I don't know. When you step up on the thing, those big tanks are, yeah, tanks. Yeah. Good God Almighty. In other words, you got to remember now, look at it. The U.S. is telling everybody to cut off your supply of petrol and all that from Russia. Cut off your supply. You stop buying wheat and everything and grain from Russia, right? You stop buying it. And Ukraine can't import any, but they're both big because they're at war. So technically, Russia's going to take all of what they can from Ukraine and send it on. Yeah, I mean, it's just natural, all right? With all of that going on, the U.S. is forcing its allies to go along with its policy. And everybody else is saying right now, we can't afford it, boss man, we can't do it. And then, more important than that, is bundles of currency. So if you're cutting off Russia, if you're cutting off Iran, right, and you're cutting off Venezuela, first of all, those are the biggest oil producers in the world. Then you have to come back 2 weeks later and tell Venezuela, hey, I know we've been kind of screwing you around, but hey, can we get a little oil from you guys? And it's insanity. That means there's no strategic planning is the best thing. There's no orderly planning. There's no process that A leads to B, B leads to C, and at least somewhere in the alphabet. Right? What they have is A leads to 14. And 14 leads to Q. You see what I mean? Yeah. It don't fit, they don't have, that's their planning. And everywhere you look, I'm telling you today, in Colombia, the left-leaning guy won the presidency today in Colombia. So that means now Colombia, Nicaragua, Venezuela, Brazil, what's the name is coming back in Brazil? Yeah, he's coming back. He'll be back. Because the guy they got, Bolsonaro, is a damn fool. He's just burning up all the Amazon. And they said, hey, man, Well, if you guys give us some money, we won't burn it down. Well, you idiot, you're cutting our throats, but you're cutting your throat. You're going to die before we do. It's insanity. You see what I mean? Okay. I would like to go through this stuff detail by detail, but here's the point. Everything we've talked about is materializing right now. We haven't been wrong on anything. We haven't been out of tune. We haven't been out of step. We have been correct. History is going the way we forecast. Not because we sent it that way, but because we anticipated. That means that we looked at all the environmental circumstances that's going on in the world, and we anticipated that's the